I'm going to talk about is 10 things that I've learned across my marketing career. I'm just going to get straight into it. So, number one, business owners do not care about SEO until they've been exposed to it. So, as most of you know, and if you don't know, my background in marketing primarily started in search engine optimization, which is basically just organic marketing. And a lot of it revolves around understanding algorithms and understanding what the search engines want in order to get their content displayed, for or websites content displayed, right? And so this act of doing this thing can produce a huge ROI for a lot of businesses because of the fact that once you get this right, once you understand the algorithm and they start to rank, they'll get a ton of traffic to their web pages, and then traffic will likely end up in conversions so long as what you have created resonates with the user that's searching on whatever search engine they're searching on to find that information, right? The thing is, though, is that because it's not like running ads, most business owners don't understand it. They don't care to understand it because they don't care about understanding Google and or like Bing or any other search platform in depth, right? To understand like what you need to do in order to rank your business and blah 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 blah. They don't care about that because at the end of the day, they want something that's super black and white. They want to know how much money do I have to spend to make this amount of money. So a lot of the times, as I said, business owners don't care about SEO. The only time they care about SEO is if they had it before and they understand the value of it because they saw some type of lift with it, but they're not seeing the lift that they would like to see. And so uh like this is, something that they want to continue to pursue, right? And they might want to continue to pursue it because again, they already had some type of success with it in the past. But that doesn't happen frequently. A lot of the times you have to really convince a business owner about what SEO is and why it's important to their business and blah 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 blah, which is why in my opinion, this kind of goes into point number two is you should sell the entire search ecosystem as a service as opposed to just SEO and paid ads separately. Because if you tell them that they need to show up on whatever search engine, Bing, Google, DuckDuckGo, whatever, I'm just right, just making this up. You can say, hey, I'm just going to do marketing on this search engine, and these are the two levers that you need in order to grow. And they will pay you whatever the price is that you want to charge to get them to get leads from that platform because that's very black and white. Like, hey, you pay me this much, you'll get this many leads. Organic will work towards this goal, paid will work towards this goal, and that's how we use them together in unison, right? And a lot of the times you can sell SEO as like the thing that just is going to compound over time so that they can eliminate paying for paid ads, right? Like for certain keywords and wasting like spending all this money on those keywords, right? So these two things very important to understand in my opinion, because if you ever go to a business owner and you're like, hey, I'm going to do an SEO audit for you, right? Like unless they are aware of what SEO is, they're not going to care about an SEO audit, right? A lot of the times, what I would even sell, like if I'm trying to sell website services to a business owner, is I would sell like copy recommendations or something that they can actually understand around improving their website. And then you could say, well, if I do this, 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 and this could lead to more conversions because I'll optimize it for Google. And then you can explain it to them. But you should always at least start with something that is more conversion focused, in my opinion, if you're trying to sell SEO. If you're trying to sell Google Ads, by nature, it's already conversion focused. So they're going to anticipate that you're going to talk about that stuff, right? The third thing that I've learned in my career overall in the last decade of me doing this is that marketing can be as simple as these fundamental things. You understand traffic generation, you understand how to convert traffic into leads, you understand how to convert traffic into sales, right? Traffic generation. You learn SEO, you learn Google Ads, you learn Facebook ads, you learn YouTube ads, whatever type of method that can help you generate traffic, right? You just pick one of those, you learn it. Converting traffic into leads. Learn psychology. learn, you know, funnels, learn how like copywriting, right? Converting leads into sales, same thing, nurturing, uh, funnels, copywriting. But you learn these three things, and for the most part, you won't struggle with marketing, right? Because to be honest, getting traffic is not really that hard. If you consistently create content and you consistently show up, you'll get traffic, regardless of if it's like one person or two people or three people or 10 people a month, you'll get something, right? And there's ways to obviously uh, speed that up, like using paid, traffic generation methods. But the moral of the story is that you need to learn how to convert these leads. You need to learn these three things, and you'll be able to help any business make money, right? And the other thing that you should also take into account is that traffic generation methods can vary. Like the effectiveness of these traffic generation methods can vary dependent on the type of business that you're working with, right? So, like for example, I would never ever recommend a small business owner to use Facebook ads if they're like a local lead gen type of client. Like I just wouldn't suggest that because I know how much money it takes to invest in Facebook ads and I know how wide Facebook targets and I know that it will probably be hard for them to get jobs in their area from that unless they're like, national. That's a whole different story, but yeah, I just wouldn't, right? But I know that Google ads will work better for like I don't know, a law firm than Facebook ads, for example. And maybe there's some data that I might be wrong about that, right? But from my experience and what I have seen, kind of is what it is. Um, and then this kind of goes into so number four is what I've realized over time is that I used to think that you could formulate and create systems within marketing because that's how I think from the standpoint of having an SEO brain, right? So I think that you can in SEO you can create processes for sure. And the reason why you can create easy processes is because of the fact that you are optimizing in accordance to an algorithm. So if you understand the algorithm, then you understand how to optimize. People are a little bit different though, right? When it comes to marketing, this is 100% psychological. So everyone has different motivators, everyone thinks differently. Like there's so many different things that makes us different as people that and also industries like there's so many different industries and what might have worked in one industry might not work in another industry, so there's a lot of nuances to take into account that you have to understand, and that's why there's no right way to do it because you can't take like Amazon can't take their strategy that they use to build to what they have and go to Tesla and do the same thing. Like maybe some parts of it might apply to Tesla but not all of it does, right? And so that's the beauty of marketing. It's like you have to discover what is going to work in your industry. And in order to discover, you have to test a lot. And in order to test a lot, you got to have a high budget, right? So, like, everything is differentiated. There's no right way to do stuff in marketing. Uh, Another thing, the fifth thing that I realized working with large brands, as you might expect, makes things way easier. And I'm talking about like in every form or fashion. Like, everything that you could ever imagine is way easier when you're working with a larger brand. The only thing that's harder and the only thing that's more annoying is dealing with the legal issues. Like making sure that before things are released that, it's going through this whole legal process and you might have to change up some of the wording or certain things that you created in order to make sure that it is compliant with what they're looking for and blah 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 blah. Like that's very, very annoying. But for the most part, like it's so easy. Like working on a larger brand, it's so much harder to grow a smaller brand with like no budget. And honestly, that's because it relies on you as a marketer to like invest a lot of time into it while not being paid a lot. To be honest, because even if you get, let's say you get paid $5,000 a month from a client that you have to do everything for email, uh, SEO, Google Ads, everything, right? And like that's their only budget. So you have to buy the tools that you need and blah 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 blah, whatever the case may be, right? but then all of your time is going into this client because you want them to grow so that you can A, build a case study, and B, not only build a case study, but you also want to um, help their business grow, right? Think about how much time you're going to put into that. And the more time you put into working on that business, the more devalued the price that you're being paid becomes, right? Or the retainer that you're getting becomes. So more time equals using more hours, which means you're getting paid less per hour. And if you don't charge on an hourly basis and you charge on a deliverable basis, and I mean that's different, but it just depends on how you charge, right? Uh, so yeah, that's what I've realized. Number six is so I used to be obsessed with getting really good at traffic generation methods. Like I wanted to be the best at Google Ads, the best at SEO, the best at Facebook, you name it, right? Over time, I've realized that all of those methods of generated traffic can change. Look at TikTok. It was never a thing, and then it just came out of nowhere, and now it's one of the largest place. It's one of the biggest social media platforms that you can use to get traffic and attention, right? Um, and like I say that to also say that things constantly change, and the thing is that at the end of the day, getting traffic is just one end of the equation, right? Or one part of the equation. The other part is being able to convert those. And the thing is that with conversion skills actually stack. So the better like platforms change. The platforms you get your traffic from will change. Google is not always going to be on top. If Search GPT comes out and crushes it, then Search GPT might be the number one search engine, right? And then we have to literally learn how to optimize for that search engine, right? Like it's just crazy. But the one thing that's not going to change is the fact that everything is psychological, and psychological, if you can get into people's psyche, you can sell them anything, right? And so like if you focus on stacking on conversion skills, you will be able to generate way more money with less traffic, which means that you don't need that much traffic to get more money, right? So imagine when you get a lot of traffic, right? Like you always benefit from focusing on conversion skills. I mean, you benefit from learning both, but like where you will see the most significant increase in monetary value is if you focus on things like copywriting, understanding sales funnels. I mentioned this stuff already, but like just like anything that understanding how to make a lead magnet, how to nurture the clients, like those things are very 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 important, and in my opinion they're not talked about enough. Because you can have a campaign, like let's say you're running an advertising campaign that's unprofitable, you can make that campaign profitable across a lifespan of the customer if you know how to nurture the lead correctly, right? So yeah, don't sleep on that. Like, don't sleep on it. And I'm not saying like it's a hard rule of thumb that you have to like get good at email, blah 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 blah. Like, there's other ways to nurture your leads, right? Like, you could create a Facebook group and talk to them, right? Like, just be smart about it. Then I would say number seven, the seventh thing that I learned in my marketing career is if you really want to elevate in your career in corporate America, you have to be ruthless. There's been so many times where I've been so nice to people and they have just snaked me. Like, seriously. And they don't care. They don't care because they want that position. They want to get ahead of you. They're opportunists. They want to uh, appear as if they know more and all this stuff. And you literally have to be ruthless. You have to be willing to shut people down. You have to be willing to be um to basically, you have to be able to articulate yourself. You have to be able uh to to show why your ideas make more sense than other people's ideas. Like, you have to basically shit on people, if I'm being honest. um if you really want to get to the top. And that's why I don't care to work in corporate America, me personally. Uh but you have to be. If you really want to be at the top, you have to be. The other thing is, lots of people in marketing have dumb ideas, and it's okay to be disagreeable. Like, when I first started in my marketing career, I did not want to disagree with anyone because I didn't want to seem like I was a problem. So I would just let people say whatever they want, and I would just take it with a grain of salt. These days, I'm much more inclined to actually debate someone on something stupid. And it's not to like break their confidence, but it's to be like, yo, that doesn't make any sense. And we shouldn't waste time on doing this approach. We should do this instead. But you always approach the conversation as, hey, I heard what you said. Some of it probably sounded good. We could do it like that, but how about we do it this way instead? Right? So basically take what they're saying and iterate on top of it and spin it and try to like mold it into a different idea that also is beneficial for both parties so that you don't waste time and at least if you see any holes in what they want, right? And obviously if they can communicate to you and explain to you and articulate that what they're doing makes more sense than what you think, then cool. Listen to what they have to say. Number nine, this is a very old saying. You have two ears and one mouth. Listen more than you speak. Whenever I'm in meetings with people, I'm always quiet. And it all automatically gives me way more power because people are anticipating what I'm going to say. And it is something that I do on purpose. I listen, I let everyone speak, and then I speak last. And the thing is that as they're speaking, I gather my thoughts so that when I have my thoughts ready and I'm ready to say something, I articulate myself so well that there's no question is as to what if I know what I'm talking about or not. Like I have to listen first. And when I listen, I can formulate opinions based off of my listening to ask deeper questions to understand the root of issues easier, right? So listening is very important. And then the last one is there is no skill that's more important than communication skills, buddy. Nothing. There's nothing. If you really want to be a top marketer, if you want, you have to be able to communicate with a team. You have to be able to communicate with clients. You got to be able to communicate one on one. You got to be able to communicate with a mass amount of people. Like communication is literally every single thing in any career, in my opinion. But like it is so important in marketing because you have to set the proper expectations. You have to be able to communicate the things that are important that you want to follow in order to get a specific result. That's it. These are the 10 things that I've learned, across my career in marketing. Peace.